have you ever noticed how the smallest things can shatter our peace? A single message, a harsh word, a plan gone wrong, and suddenly the calm we thought we had disappears like mist in the sun. But what if peace wasn't something the world could give or take away? What if peace was something you carried within you, untouched by chaos, unchanged by circumstance? The truth is, peace isn't found in control, it's found in surrender. The more we try to grip every outcome, the more our hands shake. But the moment we let go, we discover stillness waiting beneath the storm. Every hardship you face is not a punishment. It's an invitation to trust deeper, to grow stronger, and to see beyond appearances. Because calmness doesn't mean the absence of problems, it means the presence of clarity. When you begin to see every situation as perfectly designed for your growth, fear loses its voice. When you stop running after what changes and root yourself in what never does, your peace becomes unbreakable. So, the next time life tests you, don't ask, "Why is this happening to me?" Ask, "What is this teaching me?" Because the moment you shift from resistance to reflection, from control to connection, peace finds you. Remember this: you don't need a perfect life to be calm. You just need a peaceful heart to see perfection in every life. Detachment from the outcome is one of the most profound principles for finding peace in every situation. It is a lesson that challenges the deepest parts of our nature because as human beings, we naturally desire control. We want things to unfold according to our plans, we want our efforts to be rewarded, and we want certainty in the unknown. Yet, the reality of life constantly reminds us that we don't always get what we expect, no matter how hard we try. The key to staying calm and peaceful, therefore, lies in learning to let go of the need to control outcomes and instead to trust the wisdom that lies beyond our limited understanding. When we attach our sense of worth or happiness to a specific result, we unknowingly hand over our peace to something external and unstable. We say to ourselves, "I'll be happy when this works out," or "I'll feel calm once everything goes my way." But life doesn't always go our way, and when it doesn't, we crumble. Our emotions swing between hope and despair because our inner stability depends on circumstances that are always changing. Detachment means breaking this dependence. It means doing your best, giving your heart, and still being at peace regardless of the outcome. It's not indifference or a lack of carrots, the freedom that comes from knowing that your value and contentment are not defined by success or failure. To detach from the outcome does not mean you stop striving or lose motivation. On the contrary, it allows you to work with greater sincerity and focus because you're no longer weighed down by fear or expectation. You give your best because it's the right thing to do, not because you are desperate for a certain result. Imagine a gardener planting a seed. She waters it, nurtures it, and protects it from weeds, but she cannot force it to grow. Her peace comes not from seeing the flower bloom instantly, but from trusting the process and doing her part with love. The same applies to every area of life: our relationships, careers, dreams, and even our personal healing. We are responsible for the effort, but not the outcome. This mindset frees us from the emotional roller coaster of success and failure. When something doesn't go as planned, instead of sinking into disappointment, we can remind ourselves that perhaps it was not meant to be in that moment, or that something better is being prepared for us. Trusting the wisdom behind what happens means believing that there is purpose even in the delay, the denial, or the redirection. Often, what looks like a setback is actually a step towards something greater that we cannot yet see. Detachment also helps us maintain healthier relationships. Many of our conflicts arise when we expect people to behave a certain way or fulfill our emotional needs exactly as we wish. When they don't, we feel hurt or angry. But when we practice detachment, we learn to love without conditions, to care without clinging, and to give without demanding. We stop trying to control others and start focusing on our own peace and growth. This doesn't mean we stop caring. It means we love with a sense of freedom rather than fear. Ultimately, detachment is an act of faith. It is the recognition that life is not always within our control and that there is a higher wisdom at work, guiding us through every experience, whether pleasant or painful. By releasing our attachment to results, we align ourselves with that wisdom. We stop resisting what is and start flowing with life instead of against it. When we detach from the outcome, we reclaim our inner power. We no longer allow circumstances to dictate our peace. We become like the calm sea beneath the waves, steady, deep, and untouched by the surface storms. Detachment doesn't take away life's challenges, but it gives us the strength to face them with grace. And in that grace, we find the kind of peace that no situation can take away. Asterisk, asterisk, anchor your heart to something unchanging. People, success, and moments shift. Peace comes from connecting to something eternal and constant within. Asterisk, asterisk, human life is a series of changes. People come and go, dreams rise and fall, and seasons of joy and hardship constantly take turn. Everything around us is in motion, and yet we often seek peace in what is temporary. We anchor our hearts to achievements, relationships, wealth, or status, believing they will give us stability and lasting happiness. But when these things inevitably change or slip away, we find ourselves lost, anxious, or broken. The truth is, anything that can change will eventually change. To find lasting calm, we must root our hearts in something that does not. Peace begins where dependency on the temporary ends. Imagine trying to find rest on a boat in a storm. You'll never feel steady if you keep standing on what is rocking beneath you. That's what happens when you build your sense of security on shifting circumstances. When your job defines your worth, a setback at work shakes your confidence. When a relationship becomes your only source of comfort, a disagreement feels like the end of the world. When life doesn't meet your expectations, your inner world collapses because it was built on fragile foundations. Anchoring your heart to something unchanging means discovering a center within you that is not shaken by life's fluctuations. This center might be your faith, your purpose, your inner connection to the divine, or the quiet knowing that there's meaning even in chaos. It's the awareness that you are more than your titles, possessions, or the roles you play. When you rest in this awareness, peace no longer depends on whether the world outside is calm or stormy. In a practical sense, this anchoring happens through moments of stillness, when you step back from the noise of life and reconnect with the deeper part of yourself. Reflection, prayer, mindfulness, or even silent gratitude can help you strengthen this inner foundation. Each time you turn inward, you remind yourself that the core of who you are is untouched by external turbulence. You begin to realize that peace is not something you chase. It's something you return to. It's important to understand that anchoring your heart doesn't mean detaching from people or goals. It means loving and engaging fully, but without losing yourself in them. You can love deeply and still remain centered. You can pursue ambitions passionately and still remain peaceful, even if outcomes change. The difference lies in where your heart rests. If it rests on something unchanging, everything else becomes a beautiful addition, not a condition for happiness. When you anchor your heart to what's eternal, losses no longer destroy you. They teach you. Disappointments no longer define you. They refine you. Change no longer threatens you. It transforms you. You begin to move through life with quiet strength because you know that while everything around you may shift, the foundation within you remains firm. Many people spend their whole lives trying to control what changes. They chase stability in an unstable world only to feel more restless. But true calm comes when you stop fighting impermanence and instead anchor yourself beyond it. It's like the eye of a storm. While the winds swirl around, the center remains still. That stillness is found in aligning with something deeper, something infinite, something that no loss or failure can touch. When you live from that place, peace is no longer fragile. It no longer depends on whether things go your way. You start to see beauty in both presence and absence, success and failure, beginnings and endings. You become less reactive and more reflective, less fearful and more trusting. Anchoring your heart to what never changes doesn't remove pain, but it gives you the strength to face it without losing yourself. The world will continue to shift, that is its nature. But when your heart is anchored to what is constant, when it rests in the unshakable truth of your inner stillness, no storm can uproot your peace. You stop being a leaf blown by the wind and instead become the tree that stands firm through every season. That is the kind of peace that endures, a peace that comes not from the world but from within. Asterisk asterisk surrender, don't control control is an illusion. True calm comes when you release what's beyond your reach and focus on what's within your soul. Asterisk asterisk, from a very young age, we are taught to take control of our lives, to plan, to manage, to chase, and to achieve. Society praises those who have everything under control, as if mastery over circumstances equates to peace. But the truth is, no matter how much we plan or how carefully we move, life will always have its surprises. People will change, plans will fail, and circumstances will evolve in ways we never expected. The desire to control everything often becomes the root of our anxiety and frustration. Surrendering, on the other hand, doesn't mean giving up. It means releasing the illusion that everything is in your hands and allowing life to unfold with trust and grace. Control gives us a false sense of security. We think that if we can manage every detail, we can prevent pain, disappointment, or loss. But the more we try to tighten our grip, the more restless we become. Like holding sand in your fist, the tighter you squeeze, the more it slips away. Surrender means opening your palm and allowing things to flow as they are meant to. It is a shift from resistance to acceptance, from fear to faith. You still make an effort, but your peace no longer depends on the outcome of that effort. This kind of surrender doesn't come from weakness. It comes from wisdom. It's realizing that there is a higher rhythm at work, one that operates beyond our limited understanding. When you look back at your life, you'll find moments that seemed like chaos, but later revealed themselves as blessings in disguise. The job you didn't get led you to something better. The relationship that ended taught you self-worth. The detour you resisted became the very path that shaped your growth. None of this could have been orchestrated by control. It unfolded through surrender. The act of surrender transforms how you experience life's challenges. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" you begin to ask, "What is this trying to teach me?" You stop fighting every change and start flowing with it. You realize that peace doesn't come from perfect control, it comes from perfect trust. And that trust is built when you let go of the need to always know, always predict, always manage. You start to understand that uncertainty is not your enemy. It's the space where life can surprise you with grace. Practically, surrender can look like taking a deep breath when things don't go as planned and reminding yourself, "I am doing my best, and the rest is not mine to carry." It can look like showing up every day with effort and sincerity, but not tying your peace to whether things go your way. It can mean forgiving yourself for mistakes and trusting that even missteps are part of a bigger plan. Surrender is an inner posture, a heart that is at ease because it has stopped fighting what it cannot control. There is great strength in surrender. It requires humility to admit that we don't have all the answers, and courage to let go of outcomes we once clung to. But in that release, a deep stillness emerges, the kind of peace that control can never give. You become lighter, freer, and more open to life's flow. Even in uncertainty, you feel supported by something greater than yourself. When you surrender, life stops being a battlefield and becomes a classroom. You start to see beauty in imperfection and lessons in delay. You no longer panic when doors close because you trust that others will open, maybe not today, maybe not in the way you expect, but always in the way that serves your growth. Control demands that life bend to your will. Surrender allows your will to align with life. The difference is profound. One brings exhaustion, the other brings ease. One breeds anxiety, the other invites peace. And the moment you truly release what is beyond your reach, you discover that what remains your heart, your choices, your attitude is more than enough to live calmly and fully. Surrender, then, is not the end of effort, it is the beginning of peace. It is choosing trust over tension, flow over force, and faith over fear. And once you taste that serenity, you will never again confuse control with strength, for true strength lies in the quiet power of letting go. Reframe the struggle. Every difficulty carries a hidden message or growth. Seeing pain as a teacher transforms anxiety into acceptance. Struggle is something no one escapes. It arrives in many forms: loss, failure, heartbreak, disappointment, or uncertainty. We often see these moments as interruptions to our peace, as if life has gone off track. Yet, what if struggle isn't a detour but a part of the journey itself, a necessary chapter in our growth? The way we see our struggles determines whether we drown in them or rise through them. When we learn to reframe struggle not as punishment, but as preparation, pain begins to soften and peace starts to return. Every experience we go through, even the painful ones, carries within it a lesson. But that lesson can only be seen when we shift our perspective. Most people respond to struggle with resistance. Why me? Why now? Why this? In doing so, they stay trapped in the surface of the experience, unable to see its deeper meaning. Reframing the struggle means stepping back and asking, what is this moment trying to teach me? What strength is it building within me? This shift in thinking does not erase the pain, but it transforms how you carry it. Instead of feeling victimized by life, you begin to feel guided by it. Think about the times you've grown the most as a person. Chances are it wasn't during comfort or ease, but in moments that tested you, moments when you were forced to look deeper, to let go, to rebuild. Struggle stretches the limits of who you are and reveals capacities you didn't know you had. When everything goes smoothly, there's little reason to reflect or adapt. But when challenges come, they strip away illusions, making space for wisdom, resilience, and compassion to take root. Reframing struggle also helps you release the need to understand everything immediately. Sometimes growth happens quietly beneath the surface, like seeds planted in the dark. You may not see their purpose now, but one day you'll look back and realize that every difficulty prepared you for what was next. The rejection that crushed you may have redirected you toward a better path. The loss that broke you may have opened your heart to deeper empathy. The waiting that frustrated you may have strengthened your patience. This mindset doesn't deny the reality of pain. It acknowledges it while refusing to let it define you. You still feel sadness, disappointment, or grief, but beneath it all, you hold on to the quiet conviction that there is meaning in the experience. That conviction is what transforms anxiety into acceptance. Instead of fighting against what is, you learn to flow with it. Acceptance is not giving up, it's choosing peace over resistance. When you start to see pain as a teacher, your relationship with life changes. You become less afraid of challenges because you understand they are not here to destroy you, but to develop you. You begin to see that peace is not the absence of struggle, it's the presence of understanding. Even in chaos, you can find calm because you trust that this moment, however hard, is shaping you into a wiser, stronger version of yourself. One of the most powerful ways to reframe struggle is through gratitude, not for the pain itself, but for what it brings out of you. Gratitude turns suffering into a sacred process. It allows you to say, this hurts, but I am growing. This is hard, but I am learning. Over time, gratitude rewires your perspective. You stop viewing challenges as roadblocks and start seeing them as stepping stones. Ultimately, reframing struggle is an act of empowerment. It reminds you that while you cannot always choose your circumstances, you can always choose how to interpret them. You become an active participant in your growth, not a passive recipient of life's hardships. Each challenge becomes a mirror, showing you not what is wrong with your life, but what is ready to evolve within you. When you embrace this perspective, even pain begins to serve peace. You no longer ask, how can I escape this? But rather, how can I grow through this? And in that shift, you discover that peace isn't something you find after the storm passes, it's something you build asterisk within asterisk the storm. Reframing the struggle doesn't remove life's difficulties, but it removes their power to destroy your calm. Every hardship, when viewed through the lens of growth, becomes a quiet teacher, one that guides you, strengthens you, and gently leads you closer to inner peace. Asterisk asterisk, return to the present. Much of our turmoil lives in the past or future. Serenity exists only in the now. Asterisk asterisk, the human mind has a remarkable ability. It can revisit the past and imagine the future. But this same gift can also become the greatest thief of peace. We often find ourselves trapped in memories of what has already happened or consumed by fears of what might come. We replay conversations, regrets, and mistakes, or we plan, worry, and overthink what's next. Yet peace can never be found in those timelines. The only place where calm truly lives is in the present moment, right here, right now. When we dwell too long in the past, we carry the weight of what cannot be changed. The mind replays old pain, mistakes, and disappointments as if they could somehow alter what's already written. This endless reflection keeps us emotionally anchored to yesterday, making it impossible to experience the freshness of today. Similarly, when we spend our energy projecting into the future, worrying about what might happen, fearing the unknown, or chasing what we think will bring happiness, we abandon the only space where life actually happens, the present. To return to the present is to reclaim your peace. It is to remind yourself that this moment, however ordinary or imperfect, is all you truly have. It doesn't mean you forget the past or stop preparing for the future. It means you stop asterisk living asterisk there. You honor the lessons of the past and plan wisely for tomorrow, but you anchor your heart in today. You breathe deeply, look around, and recognize that this moment, this breath, is a gift. When you are present, life slows down. The noise in your mind quiets and the world around you becomes clearer. You begin to notice small details, the warmth of sunlight, the rhythm of your heartbeat, the laughter of someone you love. These are the simple moments we often overlook when our minds are elsewhere. Presence allows you to experience life fully rather than simply moving through it. Many of our anxieties stem from believing that peace exists somewhere else, in a better job, a healed relationship, or a future version of ourselves. But peace isn't something you chase, it's something you access when you return to the now. Every moment you are truly present, you are free from the weight of what was and the fear of what will be. In the present, there is no judgment, no regret, no expectation, only being. Learning to live in the present is a practice, one that requires awareness and patience. It can begin with something as simple as paying attention to your breath. Every inhale and exhale brings you back to this exact moment. Mindfulness practices like meditation, journaling, or even walking in nature can help train your attention to stay where your body already is. Each time your mind wanders to the past or the future, gently bring it back by reminding yourself, I am here now. Returning to the present doesn't mean ignoring your responsibilities or pretending that pain doesn't exist. It means facing life one step at a time instead of trying to carry all its weight at once. You begin to realize that you can handle this moment, not the entire future, not the entirety of your past, just this asterisk moment. And often that moment is manageable. Living in the present also allows you to experience peace even amidst chaos. You stop overanalyzing what might happen and start responding calmly to what is happening. You begin to trust that tomorrow will unfold as it should, and yesterday has already served its purpose. The only thing that needs your full attention is now. When you train your heart to live in the present, time feels richer. You stop rushing through life as if peace waits at the end of your to-do list. You realize that peace was never waiting, it was always here, hidden beneath your worries about yesterday and tomorrow. Every breath is an invitation to return, to let go of the stories your mind tells and to rest in the simplicity of being. The present is where joy resides, where gratitude blossoms, and where serenity can finally take root. So, when your thoughts begin to wander and your heart starts to race, pause, breathe, notice the stillness that exists beneath the noise. This is the moment that matters. This is where life is happening. And this right here, right now, is where peace lives. Nurture inner stillness, silence, prayer, reflection, or gratitude. These are the daily practices that rebuild inner peace from within. In a world that is constantly loud, fast, and demanding, stillness has become a forgotten art. We live in a culture of endless noise, notifications, responsibilities, conversations, and distractions that fill every quiet space. Yet, the more we fill our days with movement, the further we drift from the quiet center within us where peace resides. True calm is not found in the absence of sound, but in the presence of stillness, that sacred space inside where the mind rests, the heart breathes, and the soul reconnects with its source. Inner stillness is not something that happens automatically. It must be cultivated. It is a state of being that grows through conscious practice, moments of silence, reflection, prayer, or gratitude. These are not mere spiritual rituals. They are ways of returning home to yourself. When you spend time in stillness, you learn to listen not to the world, but to your own soul. You begin to hear the wisdom that whispers beneath your worries and the calm that has been waiting beneath your chaos. We often believe that peace will come when everything around us slows down, but the truth is, outer calm rarely lasts unless it begins from within. You can be in the busiest place, surrounded by noise, and still feel peaceful if your inner world is balanced. Conversely, you can be in perfect silence and still feel restless if your mind is loud. That is why nurturing stillness is so essential. It quiets the inner noise that keeps you disconnected from peace. Stillness allows you to observe your thoughts without being ruled by them. It helps you recognize that you are not your fears, your regrets, or your worries. You are the awareness behind them. Through silence, you create space between what happens and how you respond. Instead of reacting impulsively, you begin to respond with clarity and grace. This is how inner stillness transforms your outer life. It gives you the strength to remain calm in situations that once made you anxious or angry. Prayer and reflection are powerful tools for cultivating stillness because they remind you that you are not alone in your journey. When you speak to something greater than yourself, whether through faith, meditation, or intention, you release your burdens and find rest in trust. Gratitude, too, brings you into the present moment. It shifts your focus from what is missing to what is already here, turning ordinary moments into sacred ones. Gratitude softens the restless heart and invites peace to stay. Nurturing stillness also means creating small, intentional pauses in your daily life. It could be a few minutes of deep breathing before starting your day, sitting quietly with your thoughts before bed, or stepping outside just to feel the air on your skin. These moments are simple, but they have the power to reset your entire energy. They remind you that peace is not something you have to chase. It's something you return to whenever you pause long enough to notice it. The more you practice stillness, the more you realize that it is not an escape from life, it is a deeper engagement with it. In stillness, you connect with clarity, creativity, and intuition. You start to see things as they truly are, not as your fears or desires paint them to be. You develop the ability to remain centered in uncertainty, to stay gentle in conflict, and to find calm even when life feels overwhelming. Inner stillness is like a garden, it must be tended daily. The weeds of distraction, worry, and doubt will always try to grow, but through regular moments of silence and reflection, you clear space for peace to bloom. And just like a garden, the more you nurture it, the more beauty it brings into your life and into the lives of others. Ultimately, nurturing inner stillness is about remembering who you are beneath the noise, a soul that is whole, capable, and deeply connected to something eternal. When you cultivate that stillness, the storms of life may continue, but they no longer shake you. You move through the world with quiet confidence, gentle strength, and a peace that radiates from within. Because peace is not found by escaping the noise of the world, it is found by learning to be still within it.